Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode. YouTube, becoming a cop, and we have a good show for you tonight. We have super, superstar co-host Donovan.
I love you. Couldn't even get through without laughing.
uh, he's been, you know what? For our listening audience, as of today, due to a special review I got on Donovan today, Donovan's been elevated in rank
hmm
to superstar co-host. So you
Yes.
can catch Donovan. If you can't get enough of Donovan's face, eye candy right here for the ladies on YouTube. Donovan is the co-host. You listen to him every 2 weeks on the podcast, Police Applicant Podcast. And as always, the great Rob Berry is here too. Rob is in a super good mood today.
Oh, I don't know if you'd say super good mood.
You're all smiling, man. You're just very, very happy. Something very happy. You got your muscles are sore, and
It's all
and all
fake.
that.
Fake it till you make it.
As always, you can listen to us on the Police Applicant Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can catch myself on policebackground.net and Donovan on prep4hire.com. And Rob is being himself. He has no website right now.
No,
But
nope, not yet.
that's okay. We got some people watching tonight, and if you have questions or anything during the evening, just let us know. We'll answer them. And tonight's episode is going to be about disqualifiers. And, you guys, the disqualifiers, a lot of people go, oh, it's the regular stuff, blah, blah, blah. But there's reasons behind the disqualifiers that people don't know a lot how that works. We're going to get into the mind, the great mind of background investigator Donovan Heavener, and also Rob, who's been through a multitude of backgrounds as well.
Yes,
Yeah. And
I'm a
he
bit
knows
of an expert on
he's got
stuff like that.
quite a bit. I'm liking your flag back there with the blue line.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. How's the academy going? Lateral and all that.
I mean it's good. It's going by very, very quickly. I think now we're in our 6th week, um, which I didn't know. I thought this was fairly long for Lateral Academy, but I actually talked to somebody who is in the LAPD Academy right now, and they have a couple laterals in there, and theirs is 3 months long. So I'm like, all right, this isn't that terrible because ours is a little bit longer. So
Yeah, I thought it was shorter than that for some reason. I thought it was like 2 weeks or something.
they have, I know LAPD has a refresher that if you've been out IOD for a length of time, when you come back, you do like a month refresher.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always thought the laterals went through that, but apparently not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Kelly Squid is back. Kelly
Of
Squid,
course.
welcome, man. Good to see you. The great Kelly Squid is
I need
here.
to ask him why his name is Cali Squid. Never understood that.
I'm guessing Cali for California, right? Maybe.
You are correct, Ken. Your powers of observation have
Thank you.
not waned over the many multitude of decades.
Thank you. And my memory does not fade. I remember California, Cali. I can't remember. There was a thing back when that people from Cali never say Cali. I can't remember though. I don't remember. I never said Cali.
I mean,
SoCal,
if you're
maybe?
like a valley person, maybe, I don't know,
Cali.
or like a beach person.
Yeah.
Who
And
knows?
we're going to be talking about some stuff tonight. It's going to be the top disqualifiers, the real reasons behind them. And a lot of the regular stuff, guys, is integrity issues, legal or financial trouble. A lot of people think that's just what's on your credit report, and behavioral patterns and social media red flags. But let's get started with this because I know Donovan has an opinion on all of these things.
Now, why do you say I have an opinion on all these things?
because I've worked with you long enough to know that you have an opinion.
Opinion or personal experience? I don't know.
Personal experience and opinion. I've never asked Donovan this, but I still feel like he has run from the police in his youth.
I've already told you I have.
Oh, then
I was a skate punk, man. I ran from the cops all the time.
all the time. All the time. I never ran from the cops. I was a good boy.
Well, that's because they didn't have cars back then.
But I rode my horse from the cops many, many times. So let's get into this. There's a lot of videos out there that talk about DQs. And you can Google the top 10 DQs or whatever and things like that, but it's not necessarily like that. Rob can tell you that Rob has no DQ stuff in his background.
I do not. I have 0 DQs. I have a lot of non-selects, but no DQs.
But still, you have all you have everything it takes to get hired by any police department. You've passed backgrounds, blah blah blah, and yet not every department hired you.
Correct.
So Donovan,
yes,
tell us what the difference between, say, a non-select and an outright DQ is.
Well, non-select is going to be you're not just up to the standards they're looking for at the time. It's not that you've done anything wrong. That might be the life experience where you may not have enough job experience going on. Just they know there's some things you need to work on, but it's nothing that needs to be a disqualification. So it's a friendlier way of telling you you need some time. Where the disqualification is you've messed up and and you need to have a little ding on your record to remind you that you need to get things squared away.
Yeah, and Rob, can you overcome a non-select and get hired?
Yeah, usually with the non-select, it's more about, hey, there's 2 different ways to look at it. At least I look at it. One is, if you're non-selected, it's not necessarily, I would say, there you go. Cali Squid said that. I mean, the way I kind of explain a non-select is, hey, there's no huge red flags that would cause you to be disqualified, but compared to other applicants, you weren't ranked high enough to continue on.
Yeah.
So it may be just, hey, you're out, compared, you might reapply in a year whenever they allow you to, and you might be going up against different applicants, in which case you might rank higher, or it could be, hey, something in your background or whatever, like you need a little bit of time to work on or fix it. Could be, financial issues, could be you just need distance and time from your last speeding ticket or whatever the case is.
Yeah, we've got a comment here. Love the content. Thank you. I had originally applied to an agency and they told me they would let the HQ make the decision. And it's been 8 months. No letter in the mail or anything. Oh my gosh, it's been 8 months. I know someone's been waiting 9 months if it was LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what department this viewer is applying with, but man, I'll tell you, when you get told that someone's going to make a decision, we'll get back with you, and then 6 months passes, and it used to be like a long time was 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But now it's going on a year just to hear back to see if is my background okay. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That just seems like, geez.
Seems like we're falling in corporate America now because there's so many complaints that corporations now are just ignoring people after they say, hey, we'll get back to you in a couple of weeks as to whether you have a job or not. And then they just ignore them. So,
right. It was CHP. Well,
CHP is what it was.
I mean, so I look at it as like, if it's been that long since you've heard back from them, it's like you're teetering on, maybe a non-select, but they want to see who else, like they want to push other people through to see maybe if they'll get in. But then at the same time, 8 months. I mean, I know CHP's had probably 2 academies already in 8 months. So is it an issue of like, hey, they're just not getting back to you? Is there something in your background? But if it's been 8 months and you haven't heard a thing, that's usually not a good sign.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's just too long. Kelly Squid is right on the money. I would do a
Yeah.
year and a half for a DQ
Wow.
letter.
That's
I think
crazy.
I think it was longer than a year and a half, but I remember his. I've talked to him about his, and he was basically in limbo for a very long time. And then finally, yeah, he got the DQ letter not too long ago, which it's like after a year and a half, it's like, all right, I kind of know I'm not gonna get picked because they would have already done something.
Yeah, and for LAPD, a lot of times you'll get a BI and then they'll do your background and then you all of a sudden your BI changes and they
Mhm.
pass you off to someone else. They have certain BIs that handle this and that and the other thing, and sometimes BIs quit, sometimes they go on vacation, and your file just gets shuffled around all over the place.
Right.
Um, let's see here. Hang on just a sec. Let's answer questions while we're at it. Um, I ended up applying to a new department. I'm in backgrounds now. Still staying in shape. Good for you, man.
Right.
There you go.
Good for you. I know you guys have an opinion on this. I have an opinion on this as well. The the thing with these departments that make you wait so long, you've got El Pollo, and he got tired of waiting, right? And
Mhm.
he took off. Do you guys see that as a thing now where candidates are just get tired of being in they get tired of the process and then they just take off and they lose them?
Uh, man, I'm not hearing departments that are taking that long, except, I mean, I guess LAPD in maybe Southern California, but background investigators I'm talking to, they can't rifle through them fast enough in the backgrounds right now. And they're all fighting over the candidates. So they're trying to work as quick as they can. So hearing some of this stuff that's going on in Southern California is crazy to me, especially with LAPD needing so many people. I don't know what's going on there.
It's. I mean, I know a number of people. Yeah, he was in backgrounds for 3 years. I know a number of people who it's taken them a while, but there's extenuating circumstances. Like if your references don't get their questionnaires back, or the stuff that like you're not doing, or something that's holding it up. I could see why it would take a while. But yeah, I mean, most departments typically, they want to get your background done within a couple of months at most.
Mm-hmm.
But they're communicating too. That's the other thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing now. I mean, when you talk to background investigators around the country, 3 months is a long time for a background now. We're back in the
Right.
day, Ken. 3 months was like, man, that was super quick back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty quick. I mean, now when we talk about backgrounds though, a lot of times people they kind of get it kind of mushed up between how long you've been in the process and how long your background investigators had your file. So if you take everything else out, all the testing and everything, and you just leave it to where my background investigator called me,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the clock should start ticking, not the
Right.
whole process. So
Right.
I would say, Kelly Squid, were you in the total process for 3 years, or were you in backgrounds for 3 years?
So I know his story. He was legitimately in backgrounds for 3 years. Um, his history is a little checkered. I'll put it that way. But I mean, even still, like it took him a year and a half just to review his file and finally give him the DQ letter. Um, and I know. So you're talking going back to what you mentioned, Ken. I think LAPD kind of gives people a false hope in a sense because if you go on the MyPD portal, I think as soon as you submit your PHS or something like that, it says like background started. So people think, oh, I've already got a background investigator that they're already working on my background, but that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have a background investigator until you're way further along in the process.
Hmm. So how's that working with your agencies, Donovan?
I can tell you, like right now, with us, I mean, it's a little more convoluted where I'm at currently because we start with a polygraph right off the bat. So It's always iffy if we consider that background or not. I consider that part of the background because they are still filling out a packet. But we move through them pretty quick. And I can tell you, like my hiring authority, they don't mess around. If I have someone that I have to disqualify, I barely get done clicking the submit button, and my hiring authority is already sending out the letter and all that kind of stuff. So at least where I'm at, we don't wait around. There's no one lingering as to what's going on. They know pretty quick. So, and past agencies I've been at, it's been the same thing as well.
Yeah. I think it depends on the size of the agency too, right?
It does. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
The smaller ones have a better chance of getting that information out quicker. Where I can see LAPD is probably a monster just to get paperwork to roll through the system.
Well, when Rob came through, what year did you come through the first time? 2008, 2009,
Really, you don't remember?
2005,
We've been through this before.
2007.
There you go.
2007.
07.
I get you guys confused because there's generations of policebackground.net people that come in at certain times, and to me, they all came in 2007. But when Rob was going through LAPD the first time, at any given time there were 4,000 candidates anywhere in the entire process, and still we were moving pretty quick back then, even then. But I think now, this is weird, is the more advanced technology gets, the slower the system gets.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Maybe for a bigger department. I'll tell you, for the smaller departments with the technology now and the online platforms, it's speeding the process up big time.
I think because like a bigger department, there's more bureaucracy involved, and because it's like electronic, they clog up the system, and there's too many things that have to be done, and that's why it slows everything down.
Yeah. If you have any questions, ask them now. We can go back later. We don't get a lot of questions later on after the thing's posted, but I will say this, you guys, the viewership has been going up and up and up on the channel, and pretty soon, I say within a couple of weeks, we're going to be in Joe Rogan land.
There you go.
It's pretty cool.
All right.
Let's see if we have any. Let's see what Kelly Squid has to say. In truthfulness, I'm grateful to learn a lot going through the process with LAPD while I am DQ. Don't know if I'm a perm DQ or not. I learned a lot at what it needs to work on in the future, and that's a really good attitude to take, because you have to. A lot of people don't learn. I have a lot of people. Donovan and I talk about this, and a lot of people get one DQ. One DQ and their life is over.
Right.
Which is not true, but that's a good attitude to have. And Rob, you had a couple of little setbacks before your current job. And you know what? I have to, in all honesty, though, I know Rob. I've known Rob for 60, 70 years now, and Rob is a good candidate, and it tells you how arbitrary the system can be, right? Rob, you passed everything, and you even passed everything with agencies, and it still ended up in a non-select because
I mean, if you're gonna start saying stuff like that, then we might as well just like. So it was LAPD. So I tried to go
LAPD.
Because I left LAPD in 2022. Good standing, recommended for rehire. Tried to go back. What was it? Last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. Passed everything, certified for rehire, everything, and then one person said no, and I actually never got notified of it. I had to call weeks later to find out that they said no, and no explanation, no letter, no email, nothing.
That's just arbitrary.
Yep.
And then you go and you turn around. You have a seasoned LAPD officer. You don't need to go through the academy. You don't need to cost them money again to go through the academy. All these things, you go through the whole testing. You pass everything. You get certified for hire. And then, and they want LAPD guys to come back.
I think that's what they say publicly. I don't really think they want a lot of LAPD officers to come back, but that's my personal opinion. Um, but I mean, I'm kind of grateful that they did that because I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So
Yeah. Well, it all works out in
Yeah.
God's timing. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
I'm going to bring up these. Let me take this off of here. I'm going to bring these questions up. I'm going to ask Rob and Donovan to pick one of these each, and then we'll have you guys talk about them. So go through that one real quick, and you guys pick one. Maybe we'll come back and you guys pick two. But right now, Donovan, pick one of those and let's talk about it.
I'll take drug usage.
Drug use.
That's the hot topic, man.
Let's do it. Drugs.
Drugs. Every department has their own theory on drug usage.
Yeah.
How long, all that kind of stuff. And as we've been going through the since COVID, a little before COVID, time frames have been whittling down on last time used, especially when it comes to marijuana. A lot of departments now are in that year mark where they want you free and clear for a year. And I've been hearing departments now, they want you free and clear by the time that you apply to the department. Wow. So which means I can stop using today and then I'll apply tomorrow and I'm good.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy with the marijuana thing that, they're just really loosening up on that. And even some of them with the hallucinogens, which kind of talked about this. That's the scary thing to me is they continue to loosen up the hallucinogens and we're just asking for trouble in this business.
Yeah. I don't understand that either, because it's not like drug use in the past was this remember the old what was that old movie in the 50s, Reefer Madness, and just before I got hired, having a seed of marijuana, it was a felony.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, fine, it's like on the lines of alcohol use or something like that, but still, marijuana aside, hallucinogenics, hard drugs, things like that, they're going, oh, okay. And then here's the rub, and you guys tell me about this. You do these drugs and you get hired, and then you go in the field and you arrest these people for using these drugs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rob,
right.
What's the deal, man?
I don't look at me on that. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, we know the effects of all these drugs, the long-term use of it. I mean, like, some drugs permanently alter your chemical and your chemical makeup, and it's like, all right, well, I wouldn't trust them out in the field just because who knows. And once a drug addict, always a drug addict. And I'm saying drug addict is a term for like anybody who's used before, because most likely a lot of them have probably gotten addicted, whether they admitted to it or not. You're always going to be susceptible to going back to it.
Well, I mean, I know a department firsthand that hired a recovering meth addict.
Jeez, that's scary.
Yeah.
What?
So Ken, we had a conversation, I don't know how long ago. Was it maybe 3-4 weeks ago? You called me, you're like, hey, if someone has this type of drug usage in their past, would they be eligible for a very specific department? Did you ever hear back if I was right or not?
No, I haven't heard anything back on that. But I'm constantly shocked at the drug standards now.
I'm telling you, look at the West Coast.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be shocked, especially the Pacific Northwest when you start talking Seattle, Portland.
Gee, where did Ken move to? Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what's weird though, as far as drugs go, is for instance, and Donovan can correct me if I'm wrong, but a few years ago, Portland said, "Hey, we're not going to, hard drugs are legalized now.
Yep,
you're not going to get in trouble for using hard drugs." And then, as far as the backgrounds go, so they loosen up these hard drugs. Then they come back a couple of years later, and they go, you know what, that thing about legalizing hard drugs, that wasn't such a good idea.
Yep. It wasn't even a couple of years later. It was a year later.
Wow.
So how does that jive with, the standards for police officers?
So there's a couple different thoughts. You have these woke administrators coming in saying, "Oh, there's all these new studies and blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff," and then you have the administrators that are so scared about numbers that they need to start lowering the standard. I know we tell you we can't lower the standard. They're lowering the standard to hire people, and that's the scary part.
Okay, so Rob, you're a police officer, you're in the field, and you hear about someone who came, a trainee that comes and works in your car, and he says, "Yeah, I did all these drugs, man. I did that and that and the other thing." What goes through your mind?
I ain't working with them. I mean, they might be the greatest person. Sorry, like I know what drugs do to a body and what it can do. It's my life. I ain't gonna risk it. I mean, if they get personally offended, all right, so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drugs are a tricky thing, man, as far as the standards go. And I don't know how low they can go, but the only thing I can think of is someone does heroin.
Jeez.
Have you heard anything about
hold
heroin?
on. What do you mean? If they do when at what time frame doing heroin?
Last year. What do you mean?
Would it matter?
There's departments that'll allow heroin usage.
What?
Pacific Northwest?
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's
Absolutely.
that's not good.
Yep.
Golly. Which one did you pick, Rob?
Financial instability. Only because I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go.
What? Well, I mean, so like I said, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I am very against credit cards. Didn't always used to be that way, but I have no credit cards right now. All I have is a debit card, so I can only spend the money I make. Which, like I said, I lean heavily into it, because like credit cards. I mean, credit card companies make billions of dollars on the late fees and all that. So that's me. But financial instability, I mean, it's like live within your means. It's don't like rack up thousands of dollars on a credit card thinking, oh, like I'll pay it off later. Well, you're losing money that way. So
yeah,
I'll get off my soapbox about Dave Ramsey.
Well, and with the financial stuff, it shows a behavior pattern. It shows whether you're responsible or not. And you can see that right when someone gets hired. I mean, when I taught at the academy and these recruits are going out to cars that are brand spanking new, and they're the Dodge Challenger and the big lifted pickup trucks and all that. And I'm driving away in a car that's, barely hanging on because I got duct tape holding the thing together because I'm financially responsible. But I mean, it's one of those things that just comes with the business. I don't get it. And we should be picking that up early. However, again, it's the lowering of that standard.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some of that admin that are just like, well, just have them start working on getting it together and we'll bring them on. It's already a behavior. It takes a while to break that pattern, and we shouldn't be bringing them on. And people are like, well, you're too tough on them with this financial stuff. But I don't know about you guys, but man, there's times I was left in a room alone with a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not in the right space financially, that's dangerous.
We have this is an interesting. I've heard there are officers who've been fired for being on OnlyFans. Is this true?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because that could be an issue.
It could be an issue. It depends. It
Depends.
It depends on what they're doing. I take it back because there was a story last week. There was a female officer from some department. She had an OnlyFans where she was showing her feet. It was a feet OnlyFans, and she got fired. So I guess it doesn't really depend.
I will challenge that. I have a feeling she probably wasn't just doing feet. Because I mean, but still, it's like, okay, why? Again, it goes back to living within your means. Why is she doing that? Why is she feeling the need to basically sell her feet? It's like, is it because she's not financially responsible? I don't know.
For the money.
And I can only tell you from experience from my investigations, there's actual sites just for the feet. You don't need an OnlyFans.
Oh, well, okay. So on this topic alone,
Mhm.
officers have been fired, and the only ones I've ever seen that have been fired were for female officers who are on OnlyFans.
Are there guys on OnlyFans? I don't know.
There are. I don't know if there's any guy officers. I don't know.
There's been no news stories that I've seen, but there's been quite a few stories of female officers, and I think it goes down to why they get fired is because of how it looks to the department, professionalism, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And officers do get fired for it.
Do you disagree with that, Ken? I mean, it sounds like you're in favor of the OnlyFans thing.
No,
it sounds like, yeah.
No.
I mean, he was the one that brought it up, so
I didn't bring it up. It's right there. I think that I don't think it's a good idea. I think what I'm more troubled by than them getting fired is the fact that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean,
because
you represent the department, whether you're, I mean, obviously they were able to link her OnlyFans to the fact that he was an officer. So it's like the nexus is there. So you're representing the department. And it's like, that doesn't look too good. It's an image thing.
Right.
Yeah. So, yes, it is true. And Kelly Squid loves Dave Ramsey. I love Dave Ramsey completely.
I'm like 5 minutes away from his headquarters.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they have tours? Are you going to go there?
Oh, absolutely. When I'm done with the Lateral Academy, I'll go there.
Let's pick out another one of these. The
last one, behavioral social media. How about that one?
Okay. Social media or behavioral social?
Well,
I mean,
it entails social media content in there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
I mean, I think that's a big one, especially with everything going on.
Yeah. As far as social media goes, like, what if you were a police officer and you had OnlyFans?
There you go with the OnlyFans again.
You're right on there, though, Ken. You're right on there.
Well, social media, we've talked about that before, how it can embarrass the department. But the same standards for officers on social media are the same for candidates, too. And they're going to treat you like that.
So actually, you know what? I want to ask your both of your opinions on this because in the department that I am in the academy with right now. So social media. I think we talked a little bit about it, Ken. So they asked for the logins. Pretty much any candidate, they asked for their logins for social media. Apparently it's voluntary, and even if you refuse, why is Lauren saying lighten up? What?
You're too serious, man.
I'm
Stop
not
being so serious.
Anyway, so social media, like, what's your opinion on, asking for login information or checking social media?
Number one, California, you can't ask for that.
Right, California. You can't.
Yeah, in a lot of states, you can't ask for that anymore. I guess I understand where they're coming from, because now there's so many more ways to protect what you're posting, where you can keep it just within your friends and all that kind of stuff. Where I'm one that is in the belief that, hey, if it's posted for everyone to see, then I think it's something we need to worry about. Yeah, is the private stuff going to show us some concerning behaviors? It might, but at what point are we just going way above that, infringing on someone's privacy? So for me, I don't like the whole aspect. And I talked to a guy who was doing it, and I had to tell him, hey, you're violating the law by asking them to. He was actually having them open up their social media in front of him, and I'm like, You can't do that. But nowadays, a lot of states are coming up with employers can't even ask for their profile anymore.
Really?
Yeah, you can't ask for their profile anymore.
Yeah, I've known BIs that have gotten kind of carried away with all that, and they were going into their Yahoo Mail and all this stuff. And this was at LEPD, and I told her, you can't do that. Why not? I can look at everything. You can't look at everything, man, because there could be stuff in there that's protected information that doesn't have anything to do with the background. Like, what if they're talking with their doctor and you're going through their medical stuff? But they would still be doing it. And I think they came up with these laws to protect them. But I mean, how far is too far?
Right. But I mean, it also goes like, I know the officers at LA that have gotten in trouble for stuff that they post. So,
well, again, if it's posted for everyone to see,
right.
And then you run into that too, where if you have your friend group or you have your police department, like that's a tight knit group that starts their own Facebook page.
Yeah, right.
It takes one person to go ahead and screenshot that and put that out for everyone. Then yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. That's why, I mean, I am a big proponent of number one, lock it down. Number two, if you don't need social media and you're going to be a cop, stay off social media for God's sakes. You don't need it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think you should stay off social media in general, but that's, my opinion.
I mean, Ken's lived almost his whole life without social media.
All 7 decades.
I feel like that was a slam about my age, Donovan. My age.
He still doesn't know how to use a cell phone, so you gotta give him some credit.
I could probably build a cell phone. I have the technology to do all. Hey, who's running the buttons out here on this thing, man? I know all about this stuff.
I agree with El Pollo.
It's best to just not have it or be a ghost follower instead.
Yep. I agree
if you're a ghost follower, that's a little creepy. It's like you're gonna lurk in the background.
That's fine.
I think, you know what? I don't know so much about Facebook anymore because I don't go on there hardly at all. But on Instagram, I've got crap ton of people that they follow my content. A lot of them don't like it, but I can see that they're active on certain areas.
Right.
But they're just there to see, what's being posted and stuff. But I think a lot of times, and what about these ones that there have been Instagram accounts that they're like secret, their name is something whatever, and the disgruntled P3 or something like that, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Mm-hmm. And the department somehow finds it. So I'm thinking, like, if you have a secret account and you go, I'm totally, I can say whatever I want, somehow these departments go after you and they find you.
Oh, they'll find you.
Let's see. Just interesting yourself on slow shifts. Yes.
What's a slow shift?
Depends on I have taught Duke the detective how to use his iPhone. Duke the detective. Chris was here last week, and he's not here today. So, but we miss Chris. And I have another slide here as well. Unresolved legal problems, behavioral patterns, failure to take responsibility. The one about the unresolved legal problems, a lot of times people will say, I was in a car accident, I'm being sued or whatever, and the insurance company is taking it over, but the person's named on the lawsuit. Mm-hmm. As far as LAPD goes, if you have an open lawsuit of any kind, they're not going to hire you until it's over.
And that could take a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the what kind of case it is, but you can't take a chance on lawsuits because it's just a blanket thing. You don't know how it's going to turn out. Donovan, what's your take on that?
On the lawsuits?
On if you have an open lawsuit of any kind.
Open lawsuit of any, I'm still one. It's discretion. You've got to look at everyone individually. Like you said, I mean, if you get in that accident and it's wrapped up because you're at fault, but you injured some people and your insurance company is the one who is handling the case, you have no control over that. We have insurance for a reason, but you're getting named in the lawsuit because it's your insurance, you caused the accident, but it's not going to have any real impact on you. So that one I would be less concerned about than if someone is, outright just suing you for something without the accident or something.
What
So
about
I like looking at them individually.
Yeah, I mean, it should
Rob.
be taken individually because, like, talking about the accident, I got sued. Now it's been over 10 years. It was insurance fraud. Like, some woman claimed I hit her. She was in the middle of the road in Torrance, and I never hit her with my car. Like, she tried to allege it, and she walked around my car, fell on the ground, started complaining about her back and her neck. Total insurance fraud. She tried to sue me for $300,000,
Oh, geez.
and it lasted. I mean, I think it lasted like almost a year, and it's like, I mean, it's a case of insurance fraud, but I'm getting sued and I'm named in it. So it's like, if I had applied back then, I'm stuck. It's like she's trying to basically pull an insurance fraud on me. I'm tied up in a lawsuit, and I couldn't have gotten hired.
Yeah. And what about divorces?
Divorces are always messy.
They're messy, but
I know
again,
someone going through a divorce right now.
Again, it's one of those that you got to look at it individually. What are the claims being made, in the cases, that kind of thing. Obviously if you got a divorce going on and there's claims being made of domestic violence, that changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what if it could change your income and your credit report and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it could.
Yes, Rob.
No, I didn't have anything to add. I was just, agreeing.
So as far as the consensus goes, unresolved legal problems could or could not, it depends on the type of case. It could or could not be an issue.
Right. It's a case-by-case basis.
Okay. Behavioral patterns. So there's a difference between, and you guys tell me, somebody does something and it's a one-time deal. And it happened and it's gone, it's over, and now they've distanced themselves from it. But then you have them doing something and then they do something. They don't do that thing, but they do something similar, maybe a theft or something like that, or some kind of behavior at work, and it continues on. So there's a difference between one-time behavior things and patterns.
Right.
And they can go back. Something that's not a DQ, if you have a list of things that aren't DQs on their own, but you go through maybe 10 years of things they've done and they build up a pattern of behavior, then you end up stringing them all together. Does that sound right, Donovan?
Sounds 100% correct.
So
I mean, just an example. I mean, an example would be you have someone who you look at their employment record, they're tardy here and there, that kind of thing. And then you start calling references and you always ask, the question, hey, is this a guy who's on time all the time, or is she on time all the time? Are they late, or is on time? And then you can start building the pattern that way when they're like, oh God, they're always late. And you're like, well, they're late to work. They're late to their friends. That's a pattern that we want to get away from, right? We don't want that person to be in here. So.
Yeah, Kelly Squid says he's stuck on behavioral, guilty of behavioral problems, stuck on that one.
I was just thinking about him.
And a lot of candidates, they go in thinking, oh, you know what, I did this 10 years ago. And it shouldn't bother me now. It's been a long time. But then, and this is not just on one type of thing. Let's say you have a really bad driving record when you were 18 and you got a bunch of tickets, and then you got fired from work a couple times, and then something else happens. You got in car accidents or something like that. And then those things on their own, they're separate standards, but then they start going, oh, you got a lot of stuff.
Right.
And even though it goes past the years where the DQ would matter, now they're putting them all together, and then let's say you have a bunch of things and you've got a couple of years distance, and now you say, oh, my record's clear, but then something else comes up. You get a ticket for speeding or something like that. Now what that does is, even though you had a time frame that was clear, now you had something this year, which brings all that stuff current in this pattern.
Right.
And a lot of people don't.
And with that, you're looking at a maturity issue there.
Yeah,
When you
maturity.
start talking about that, and that's a big thing as well. And a lot of people forget that whole aspect.
Yeah. And another thing a lot of people don't realize is that you can get DQ'd for one thing, but under several standards.
Right.
Several standards. You can have a bad credit report with collections or whatever, maturity, credit, whatever else they put into it, and you can get DQ'd for more than one standard for one thing. Good stuff. What did I? Let me take this off. Any other questions, you guys? Anybody? Rob, Donovan, do you have anything else? So
I think we've talked about this before, Ken, on other podcasts and everything, and I'm seeing it more and more, is the consistency on personal history statements.
Mm.
If you're going to admit the drug usage on one personal history statement, you better get your story right, because it better be the same on the next personal history statement. And I'm seeing that more and more, where they're not putting everything down on one, and then they're over reporting on another, or the numbers don't match up. I've had one where they failed a polygraph for drug usage because they admittedly said, "Oh, I didn't include this because I was afraid it'd get me disqualified." And then they come over to us and they want to be part of our department, but they don't put that information in the personal history statement.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't learned their lesson.
Right. And there's no secret. I mean, everyone knows that we all talk. I mean, that we share the information.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I mean, you got to get your personal history statement done right all the time, and it should be the same. And understand 95% of the stuff you put on there is not going to get you disqualified.
Right. I mean, it's an integrity issue. It's like,
it is,
because, and this is one thing that one of my instructors has mentioned before. It's like, we actually had somebody who they failed the law exam, but he, long story short, something separate from it, he forgot his water, or he left his water bottle accidentally, and then, an instructor picked it up, and he forgot about it till the next day. And so our instructor came in the next day, asked him where his water bottle was, and the guy lied. He was like, "Oh, it's in my truck." And the instructor's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure it's in your truck?" Like, trying to get him to, get the hint. And nope, guy stuck to his guns. He's like, "Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's in my truck," even though he knew he had lost it. So, yeah. So, I mean, he ultimately got let go because of a test, but even something as simple as that, it's like, it's no big deal. But when you lie about it, it makes it that much worse.
Yeah. Hey, Donovan, go and take this one.
All right. So regarding tardies, late to work, what if the company you work for has policies in place to allow you to be excused for tardiness, and you're consistently late or tardy, but still within policy? That's a tough one. I mean, I need more information on that. I gotta find out why you're consistently late or tardy. Are you affecting anyone? Because again, the reason why we are concerned about that is it's all shift work, and someone can't leave because you're not showing up on time. So someone gets hung over, held over on a shift. So there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of questions I have to ask that person about that. I can't just say, yeah, I'm going to disqualify him, or I'm not going to disqualify him. I would just be concerned, even if the policy allows it, if you're consistently late and tardy, there's going to be an issue there, changing that behavior, because now you're showing the behavior that it's okay.
Yeah,
And it goes back to the pattern.
I've never seen a company that has policies that allow you to be excused for tardiness. I'm not sure what that means.
I haven't seen policies, but I've seen supervisors who say, "Oh yeah, if you work it out with the person that you're relieving, it's fine. I just want the shift covered," kind of thing, and work it out with a coworker. But policy wise, I don't know.
And if it's the company he's talking about, I think it might be like, if, oh, there you go. He said anyway. All right. I was going to hold that back, but since he said Disney, yeah, basically
late. Hold on.
What? Wow.
2 hours late.
2 hours. Jeez.
Wow. That is the happiest place on earth,
That's quite the union too.
right?
I mean, because it's like I look at it as like, okay, yeah, you might be within policy, like if you're fine by policy, but when you're applying, it doesn't matter what their policy is. It matters what it's black and white kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, plus 2 hours, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a heck of a union.
What are you doing to be late 2 hours? 2 hours. You know what, Donovan? I'm going to ask you about this too because I did an employment check at Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo. This one guy, if you look at it, he had all these different little notes in his file. This note here, this note there, blah blah. And what they were on a point system.
Yep.
And he had to take his mother to the doctor for treatments of something, and he got points.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't differentiate between he was late,
Right.
just the fact that he was called in sick, or he had to take his mother, and they had all these points. I totally ignored that because I thought it was dumb. What's your take on that?
There's a lot of companies now that are going to that point system. I've been coming across that a lot. And it is, you got to have those questions. You got to be able to see what the points are for. And I've had someone again, they helping a family member, or they were legitimately sick. They had even if you have a doctor's note, you still get points against you. So that's when you hear the point system, you really got to dig in and find out what's going on. You can't just base it on, oh, they got written up or they got fired because they had too many points.
Yeah. And if you work for a company like that, make sure that you let the background investigator know, because this threw me totally off. I had never seen this before, and I went in, and to someone who doesn't know about that, and you see all these entries in their file, you think, oh man, this is so bad. But let your background investigator know if that's the case.
Yeah, give a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Squid says, I'm not late all the time because everything is on my record card, but it's a very common thing for Disney. You know what, though? I have to say, Donovan, Rob, if I go to a company like Disney and I see, 2 hours late, 1 hour late, blah, 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 I'm not going to care what the policy says.
Yeah, that's
Right.
again, that's behavior. That shows behavior, and the person thinks it's okay. I can just be 2 hours late. I can be 2 hours late, whether sick time covers you or not. Kelly Squid, you saw that post too. The Kelly, you get enough sick time, it covers you. Doesn't cut it again, because in our line of work, someone can't go home until you come in.
Right.
Yeah, and you can't be late because your cars are set up how they're set up. In police work, you're assigned a car, you're assigned a beat, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
A reporting district, you're assigned to patrol that area. And if you're late, hey, I'm going to be a couple hours late. That's not cool in police work. So I would say get in the habit of being on time.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that. So anything else you guys have on your radar as far as the DQ stuff?
No, you had one in your very first list, though. The one that I think is really important too is just taking responsibility for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that in there? I forget where it was.
On the shorter list with the 3 things on it.
I know I saw it somewhere, but you got to take responsibility for the actions that you have. If you've done it, just own up to it and move on. And again, that's that time and distance thing then.
Yeah.
Because now you're showing that maturity. Yeah, I did it. And this is why I did it. And hey, guess what? This is what I learned, and this is what's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And spell that out for your background investigator.
Don't put it off on other people all the time.
Right.
Because
I hate that.
Your background investigator is going to get pissed off if you say, oh, well, you know what? My buddy did it and I got blamed for it and stuff like that. At some point you did it.
Yep.
And if there's there's a couple of things. One is blaming other people for something that you were involved in. The other thing is minimizing your behavior, because they're going to put that in your background, and I would have a problem with it.
Yep. I mean, what about the person that says, I got fired from this job because I had a disagreement with my boss. I left this job because I didn't I didn't like the way that management was treating me. I left this job because management was always yelling at me. And it's the same
Yeah.
thing with every job. What are we showing here? You're not taking any responsibility for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's little things like that that people don't seem to realize that background investigators look at.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, gentlemen, if you have no questions, everybody else, we've talked about Disney, we talked about being late, we've talked about everything. We talked about OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff.
Ken's night is complete after OnlyFans.
Yep.
OnlyFans.
Ken can go to bed happy now.
You know, it's funny because the comment always comes up. Oh, she got fired for being on OnlyFans, but she's gonna make more money now than she was on the department.
Sadly, that's probably true.
That's probably true. I don't know what the money is, and I'm not trying to get into this conversation, but apparently there's money to be made on OnlyFans. So
How do you know? How do you know, Ken?
I keep up on social media and the news, all the news stories.
You have a lot of friends on social media that do OnlyFans that are feeding you
I
info.
keep up on the news stories of police officers who have been on OnlyFans. And Ken,
Sure, it's
if the
research.
oh, it's research only. Ken does not understand why cops do that. Ken does not understand that. And you're a young guy, Rob. Perhaps you can school me on why a police officer would want to do that.
I do not know a single person who has ever done OnlyFans, but I do know it's probably the same reason why cops work all this overtime, because they gotta, they're living above their means, and so when overtime dries up, they lose everything.
Oh, that reminds me of a story I read today in Police One. The story, Donovan, the story was about cops that were leaving Idaho because they were getting paid like some $32 an hour to do police work, and they work in Washington State.
Yes.
Like Spokane or the Washington State Patrol, because they can make bank. They can start out within a few years and have like make $100,000 where they're making $32 an hour in Idaho.
Yeah. Yep.
What's up with that? Back in the late 80s, we were doing off-duty gigs for $30 an hour. And in 2026, they're still making $30 an hour in Idaho?
Yeah.
There are some departments over here that pay less than that starting out.
Yeah, you look down south, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, all those places, man. There's a lot of places that just they don't pay. They don't have the money.
But is the cost of living, does that adjust for that? I mean,
cost of living is a lot cheaper. Yeah, cost of living is a lot cheaper.
But these are people from Idaho, so
I know. It's
no
not
excuse.
an uncommon thing.
Yeah, I mean the pay disparity, but then again, in like Washington State, it's very expensive to live, and the West Coast altogether, you better pay some money for these officers. And these ones where they go, in starting pay in San Francisco is $120,000 an hour. I mean a year.
You're broke if you're making $120,000 a year.
Right. Nothing, man. Yep. You can't live in the city for one thing.
No.
But yeah. So I mean, would you say, Rob? Would you say the southern states are a good option for people coming from the western states?
I mean, that's where I ended up, so that's always a good thing. I mean, it's good. It's a different way of life out here, though. I will say that everything's, although, where I'm at in Tennessee, it's, some places are getting too many people from California, so don't everybody come out here. But no, I mean, it's a whole different way of life. Obviously, pay is a lot different, but it goes. I'd say it's kind of comparable, to California. Like, obviously, cost of living in California is super high, but the pay is higher. Out here, pay is a lot lower, but cost of living is a lot lower too. So,
yeah. And Donovan and Nevada, anything like? Do they pay high out there or what?
Pay's not bad. The way they have the state retirement system set up, kind of sucks. If your agency doesn't pay your retirement, then you're putting in about anywhere from 14 to 18% of your pay every year into retirement. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ton. It's a ton. So
Dang.
yeah, Metro pays it, so it's not bad. Metro pays really well. So if you want to have some fun and work for Las Vegas Metro,
Do they have a state retirement system?
yeah, it's a state retirement system. Yeah, but and all the departments are in it. But again, your department has to agree to pay your share. If they don't pay your share, then it's somewhere around 14 to 18%.
Dang, that's
you're
a lot
paying
of
in.
money. That's a lot.
It is. Especially starting off. If you're starting off at between 70 and 80,000, that's a real kick in the chops there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Nevada doesn't have state income tax?
No state income tax.
Still not 18%.
Yeah.
If they did have it. I heard in California, I read a story of that CalPERS has some serious financial issues. And
I'm not surprised.
CalPERS, the cities and the departments, they have an obligation to pay into CalPERS regardless of whether they have the money and it's like something like $250 billion that they are short.
Wow.
And the state doesn't the entire state collectively doesn't have the money to pay for these retirement, these pension systems on CalPERS.
Oh yeah. I'm not surprised I'm actually kind of shocked it's taken this long because when you have more people drawing out of the pension than the people putting in, at some point there's a breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm always confused when you have a state that it's the entire state that shares it, whether it's law enforcement or whoever. Like Washington, it's strictly firefighters and law enforcement in a retirement system, and it's one of the most stable retirement systems in the nation because
Right.
they focus on it. We run the whole thing. We invest and it's great.
They CalPERS, I think, is just law enforcement, and then there's CalSTRS or something that's teachers and stuff like that. But the fact remains that they're taking more money from the state than it has.
Yep.
Because they're legally obligated to do it.
Wow.
But if something happens where they had some bad investments and stuff like that too. But if something happens with the pension system, and it goes belly up because the cities and states and counties can't pay into it. What if they just say, plus here's another thing. We need cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We need cops because that's the feeder pool for the people that are working today. They're paying my pension. They're paying into mine. I paid into the pension that paid for the coppers that retired before me.
Yep.
So this is Ken's personal plea. Please become a cop in California so he can stay on his retirement so he doesn't have to come live in my spare room.
Please join. The good thing, and I will stay in your room. The good thing is that the LEPD pension is city only. It's not attached to CalPERS.
Yeah, but their pension system ain't doing too well either.
It is. It's 90-something% funded.
Sure about that?
You sure about that?
I'm just saying.
Sure about that?
That's not what I've heard.
What I heard or facts. That's what's important to me.
I heard.
I deal in facts. I get a lot of people telling me I heard, but I need facts, man. Yeah, as far as I know, it's 90-something% funded. Even through the 2008 meltdown, it still was 90-something% funded. They do really well. And the city, city of LA, they pay into our pension fund because, man, city of LA, man, they got banked. They got so much money, except for that 1 billion short.
Yes, that 1 billion, or was it 1 billion or 4? I forget.
It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
But
so on that note, Ken might be staying in my spare room.
Yes.
But Washington State, they just raided some kind of law enforcement fund.
That's left one. That's the really old retirees. There's probably a handful left in that retirement system.
That's me.
Yeah, I mean, when I say handful, I mean you probably could count them on both your hands on how many are left in that system.
Oh, wow.
Because they revamped it, I think, late 80s, early 90s, to get us into what's called Left 2 now. So that system, and it's just, there's just so much money in there, but they're taking it for the general fund for the state rather than rolling it over into the newer retirement system.
So the thought is we could take their money because they're going to die soon.
That's pretty much what it's coming down to. Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's Washington State for you.
Yeah.
Washington State. All right, guys. That is going to wrap it up for tonight. You guys want to do it again next week?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Let's do it again.
I might be
next
getting
week.
tased next week. I'm not sure. So we'll see.
We need video or it didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, it didn't happen if we don't have video.
We'll
'Cause
see.
I want the part where you're getting tased and you like pee your pants and you go like,
Right?
like that.
Nope. No, never happened. That if that ever happens, that video will never see the light of day.
Okay. Well, next week, guys. Donovan, thanks for being here. Rob,
Yeah.
thanks for being here as well. And we will talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Sounds good.